All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of The Final Word. I, of course, am joined by Mr. Greg Stone. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
Double thumbs up. Two thumbs up.
This is our
Feeling good.
this is our first daytime pod. We've been doing these at night, so I'm very interested to meet afternoon Greg instead of nighttime Greg.
Oh no, bad news. I didn't sleep last night, so the same effect of being tired will be done. We did all this work to get us in during the day, and it was all for
Yeah,
nothing.
perfect.
As
Great. One day we're gonna meet
Yeah.
daytime Greg. I can't wait for that day.
I know this isn't video, but like, look at me, Jesus Christ,
We
man.
both do not look great right now. I mean, I look insane as well. You didn't sleep because you have children who decided that they just weren't going to sleep today.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't sleep because I tore a muscle in my leg 2 weeks ago,
No.
and it has been an abs. I feel like this podcast has just become an outlet for me to complain about injuries that I've had.
Mm.
And I don't want it to be that, but I keep getting injured, so I don't know what to do.
I mean, you get injured. It should just be called slowly dying, and it's just you slowly dying. And every day a piece of you falls off, and you're just like, oh, there goes my ear today. Oh well.
It
This
really
that and that.
does. It does feel like. I mean, I am slowly dying. I'm slowly getting older, and things keep breaking, and
Mm,
it does feel like it's just my body telling me, like, hey, man, you probably don't have that much time
right.
left. None of this stuff works. Eventually it's going to be the important stuff. Like right now,
Yeah.
it's just like a muscle in my leg. It's like, all right, we're just warming you up. Eventually it'll be a kidney or, my
Yeah, your
lung will
nose.
stop. Yeah, my
Mm. This guy's ear fell off. The
it's
hell?
it's not great. So the short version, I want to get your opinion on something, and then we'll get into stories. But this is just quickly here. Almost this Sunday will be 3 weeks ago. I was walking my dog, just
Uh-huh.
casually walking,
What's
and
your
I
dog's name,
just
by the way?
his
Is
name
it
is Arnold.
I love it? And what kind of dog? I just need to know.
They could. I honestly don't know. When I got him,
Oh.
he had been dropped off. Like somebody just like was like, "Here, take our dog," and left. They didn't tell them anything,
Oh.
so they knew nothing about him. So I don't know. He's like 25 pounds. I'll send you a photo of him sometime. He's adorable.
Okay, I love a
Uh,
dog.
he's great. He's the best. He's like kind of an old man, but he still chases his tail. He's the coolest.
Right.
But for whatever reason, he's always around when I'm getting injured. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna let it slide. He did almost legitimately kill me one time, but
No.
that's been documented already. So I'm just walking. We're just walking. We are going kind of up an incline, but barely, like just a little bit of an incline. And I hear what sounds like some sort of giant rubber band snap, and
Oh, for
it's
just nothing. Just
nothing,
doing
just
nothing.
doing nothing. What my doctor thinks is, I did break my leg last year, and I
Uh-huh.
favored one leg for over a year because I could only use one leg. So he thinks that I just put a lot of extra pressure and work on that leg, and eventually it caused, this muscle to weaken, and that's why there's a tear, whatever. So either way, I hear like what it sounded like something snapped, and I like fell to a knee because it was just like
Oh.
my muscle tearing. Such a weird thing because the sound is so loud that you think it's coming from somewhere else.
You really heard it?
Oh yeah, you
This is
hear
freaking
it,
me
buddy.
out.
It's so weird.
Oh.
And then I just like fall to a knee, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then of course, just this crazy pain in the back of my leg. It
Uh-huh.
feels like just like the worst Charlie horse you've ever had in your entire life. And then I just, what am I supposed to do? I stand back up and I just hobble my ass back home. And luckily I wasn't too far from home, so it wasn't much of a hobble, but I don't know, a couple 100 feet. It wasn't
Did
quick.
you call an ambulance?
I did not. No. So I got back home, and from past injuries, I have an ice pack in my freezer. So I grab the ice
Oh.
pack and I just throw it on my leg, and I just lay there for an hour, just icing my leg and thinking, what am I now? What do I do? Like what
Okay,
am I
yeah.
supposed to do? So, of course, I got to go to the hospital. I got to make sure that like I didn't really injure myself or like something snapped or popped or
Right.
whatever. So, I go to the emergency room, which is like my absolute nightmare because I spent almost a year in and out of the hospital last year. But whatever. So I go, and the first thing they do is they check to make sure it wasn't my Achilles because if it was my
Right.
Achilles, then it's big trouble. Luckily, it's not my Achilles, and it actually didn't swell up or bruise, which are all good signs. So the doctor's basically like, look, you probably have a minor tear in your leg. It's probably your calf muscle. You just gotta, it's rest and ice for 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh no.
Your body will hopefully, just fix it on its own. Like it will heal. It's just going to take a ton of rest. Whatever. So I go home and I end up contacting my doctor and I tell him what happened and he goes, "All right, well, it's good that it's not swollen and that, the pain's not so bad." He's like, the pain's going to get worse though, because this is one of those injuries where it's healing, but you still have to walk. So like
Right.
you have to use the muscle that's injured while it's healing. So it's like it's gonna suck. And I'm like, okay,
Can you get one
cool.
of those little motorcycle things that people have? It's like the little scooter with the like a knee up thing. You always, you see like a 70-year-old lady thinking she's cool. Like, look at cool my injury motorcycle is.
I got my cane right here from
Oh, that's not good.
previous injuries. So I have been using my cane, but I could, I guess, invest in some sort of scooter. But my one bedroom apartment, I don't know if it would, I'm not
First of
moving
all,
that far.
what are you doing with that cane? You got an opportunity now to have
Yeah.
something with a diamond on the end of it, or like a Jurassic Park cane, right?
You're not
What you
wrong.
got
Yeah.
there? You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. I bought it at Walmart for probably $10. It's not cool. I need to go to like an antique store and get one where like a blade comes out of the top.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're not wrong. I just would like to never have to use a cane again. I'm 37, so
Sure.
ideally I would like to throw this cane in the trash and never look at it, but I kept it because I had a feeling it wasn't the end. So this is where I want to get your opinion, and we'll get past
Sure.
my injuries here. But my doctor says let's do an ultrasound on your leg just to look at it. Let's see the muscle. Let's see how bad the tear is. We'll get a better idea of the healing process and how long you'll probably be like this. By the way, 2 weeks in now, and it's like it's so weird. Yesterday I woke up in the most excruciating pain ever. Just like my whole leg was on fire. Today I woke up not zero pain. Like I
Oh,
don't fucking get it. It's so weird. I think it has to do with the way I sleep. If I
sure.
sleep weird, I irritate it, whatever. I took a lot of strong pain meds last night, so I think I just didn't move.
Yeah, fun.
But anyway, I get scheduled for an ultrasound. I go to get the ultrasound, which is not easy. Like I got to take an Uber because it's my driving leg. So I mean, I can't drive. So
Right.
I got to hobble my ass into an Uber. Uber drivers really don't give a shit. I could be walking out there with two canes and, an eye patch and they just wouldn't even bat. They don't give a fuck. So
Right.
like I got to, maneuver some will like move the chair up if, they'll be like, "Oh, no one really cares." So I got to like
Did you
hobble.
tip him? If you
I,
don't, if you should
I,
still tip him too.
I tip my Uber drivers,
I'm
but
saying if he's not helping you out, anyway,
I got
go ahead.
qualifications for tipping Uber drivers.
Okay.
But if they do, I mean, what I'm not expecting them to jump out of the car and carry me into the vehicle, but I just mean like, one of the simplest things is like, oh, you could turn around so I don't have to like jump off the curb and then walk all the way around. Like you could just whatever.
Right. Of
Anyway,
course.
but none of them do that. They don't care. It's a whole thing to get to the ultrasound place. So I do the Uber, I get to the ultrasound, I do the ultrasound. And this is actually kind of funny. I don't really think when you think of ultrasound, you've had children, you're probably smarter than me in the sense that like I didn't think about what an ultrasound was. I
Yeah.
when I hear ultrasound, I just think like, oh, it's probably some even though I know what an ultrasound is, I'm thinking like, oh, I probably just put my leg in a machine. It's gonna like spin around and I'll be done. But no, it's like they put like the goo on your leg and they
They
got
lube
and
you up, man. Yeah.
yeah, and then they
It's
have like the
sexual. It's a very sexual experience.
it's very and they like put like the thing they like have to run this thing up and down your leg, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not thinking about that. And getting dressed is like not super easy at the
Right.
moment. So I just throw on basketball shorts and a t-shirt. No underwear, nothing. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't, it's like so hard. You know how hard it is to
Yeah,
put
yeah.
on boxer briefs with one leg? Like it's just, I'm just
You
the
make them sexier.
essentials.
I would
And
argue that underwear is an essential, but sure, neither here nor there.
I get to the
I got you.
ultrasound and she goes, you need to take your shorts off. It's the first thing she said. She goes, you got to take your shoes, your socks, and your shorts off. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what the, why do I have to take, it's my calf that, why am I taking my shorts off? It turns out she's checking, she needs to check blood flow and my veins.
Sure. And
And
your
so
balls. She needs to check your penis. She was
and
saying.
so she's got to start at the top of my leg. So I got to take my shorts off. So she says that, and I immediately just freeze, and I'm like, "Fuck! What am I supposed to do right now?" And
Right.
then I go, "Oh, okay, I got to take my shoes off." And then she goes, "Yeah, and your shorts." And I just look at her and I go, "All I'm wearing is shorts." And she looks at me and she goes, "Okay." And then like goes and grabs like one of the hospital gowns
Sure. Yeah.
and she's
Okay.
like, you could just wear this as like a cover up. So I
Sure.
just have to lay in this bed, which like it's her room, I guess. So it's like decorated. It's got like all these like lights around it. It's a very weird scene. But
Yeah.
so I basically just sit there like I'm fucking Winnie the Pooh as she, goes up and down my leg with this ultrasound machine. Anyway, it was a whole fucking thing. I did not expect it. I mean, she gets in there too. Like they get in the crease all the way at the top of your leg. I mean, it is personal. So I do all of that. And I do kind of notice that like she doesn't really go near the back of my calf where the injury is. She goes like around it, like on the sides and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess that whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I've never used, I'm not a doctor. I don't know how this works. Whatever. 2 days later, I see the doctor again, and he pulls up the report of the ultrasound. And the guy he ordered the wrong fucking ultrasound.
Oh,
He
this is great.
ordered a fucking blood flow and vein ultrasound instead of a muscle and tendon ultrasound. So not only did I probably didn't have to fucking take my shorts off if we would have ordered the right one, but I went there and it was, it wasn't completely a waste because it still ruled out like the possibility of like blood clots from
Sure.
the whatever, but it does not help. So I'm sitting with the doctor and I go, all right, so I guess what? I have to go do another ultrasound now? And this is where I want your opinion. He goes, no, 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 no. He's like, we'll just take this ultrasound and they'll just rework it. And they'll rework it to look at your muscles and tendons.
Okay.
And I go, all right, I guess if you're saying that's what works. But then, as soon as I leave, I pull out my phone and I type in, can you rework ultrasounds? And everything that I looked up says, no, you can't do that's like not a thing.
Right.
So is my doctor just lying to me because he fucked up and he's gonna like
No.
pretend? Well, I mean, what do I do here? I'm supposed to call him in like 3 hours and he's supposed to hopefully tell me what's going on, but I don't know if I even believe him.
Well, I don't think you should be asking me this question because
Well,
what
you're
the
the guy that I do the podcast with, so who else am I supposed to ask?
so I'm gonna give you a bullshit answer that you're gonna like stick to, which is
That's great.
well.
That's the
So
show.
I mean, it's very possible that you didn't need the ultrasound in the first place, and they were just trying to make a little extra cash off you, and so they
Well,
were like, "Well, we never even needed this thing in the first place.
well,
We'll rework it."
I think there's value in looking at the muscle and seeing how bad I tore it.
Yeah, no, sure. I think what happened was on the CAT scan, it says this man tried to show me his penis. Please don't send him back there. And they were like, "Well, we can't. We'll have to rework this." in some way as to you traumatized
Ah,
some ultrasound worker. It was a female, you said, right?
yeah, it was a poor. Yeah, she's probably like 27. I did not feel great about it.
Oh, this is exciting. No, this is first of all, A, she's seen way worse, right? She's
Yeah,
dealing with old man dick all day, vagina, all torn
you're
up vagina
you're not.
all
You're not.
day.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal, right?
yeah,
Um, you
yeah.
know, I love that you took a very uncomfortable situation and made it way more uncomfortable. Like getting an ultrasound up your leg, taking your pants off. I feel a little weird. It's like, oh, do you? Well, guess what? Cock and balls is here as well. So now
I'm
it's
now.
on you,
Yeah,
lady. I
I'm
don't feel
now.
uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable.
I did. Yeah, I mean the look on her face when I said all I'm wearing is shorts.
Hmm.
She was not thrilled, and
Right.
rightfully so. If I looked at me and was like, "Oh, this guy's got to he's just got to take his pants off now," and there's nothing protecting me from everything else,
Nah,
not
fuck
gonna be
that,
thrilled.
man. Nah, fuck that, man. Fuck that. We all go through things. You got an injury. Maybe it was the last day of laundry day. How are you supposed to know there was not going to be a? I mean, you
Yeah.
might. I mean, one would go. It's possible to have me take my pants off to look at my leg. One might say you might want to have underwear on. Wait, can I tell you this funny story?
Yeah,
One
yeah,
time,
yeah.
this I'm gonna try to remember exactly how this went.
Yeah,
I was living in a I used to live across the street from a CVS, and
yeah,
I didn't do enough laundry, and it was like my first week living in this new apartment. I ran out of underwear, so I was like, all right, let me. So I put basketball shorts on. I
yeah,
go, let me go to CVS. Sometimes they have underwear there, right? So I
yeah.
went to CVS. I bought a pair of boxers. I get to my house, and I had locked myself out of the apartment, right?
Awesome. Yeah,
So
of
I'm like, oh fuck. So I was like, I
course.
got to climb in the window, right? So I open up my window, I throw my bag through the window, try to climb in. As I'm climbing, the window shuts on my like me halfway. So just my ass and legs are hanging out of the window,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
trying to wiggle in, and
yeah,
I'm wiggling in, and
yeah.
as I'm wiggling, my shorts fall directly off, and I hear a lady go, "Oh my God!" And then I fucking
Oh,
fell in the window and then walked back out, with pants on. And I saw this old lady just sitting on her porch. And I was just
yeah.
like, morning, neighbor. I picked up my shorts
Hey,
and I
nice to
walked
meet
back in
you.
the house.
Hey, just moved in. How you doing?
Dude, when you go commando, it's
Ah,
always a risk. Like,
I
that
know.
there's like, it's just one layer of protection you don't have. I don't want
It's
to blame you because you hurt. You know what I mean?
it
But
was a rookie move. I should have. You should always assume when there's some sort of medical procedure happening that involves your leg, the pants might come off.
the
I just
pants might come off.
assumed we were looking at my calf. We were going knee down.
It's far way away.
So
Yeah.
I figured if I was wearing shorts, even if I had shorts on, I could have
Right.
just pulled the shorts up.
Right.
If she needed to get like, even behind my thigh or whatever, I didn't think she would literally be going in between the crevice of my leg and like well pubic air. What do you I don't know
Right.
what is. I just didn't think she was going that high.
Of course.
And
It's like living near a nuclear power plant. Like you see that thing, you're like, we're far enough away that that's not going to be an issue, right? You're like, no, actually, you're not. That thing goes off. The whole tri-state area is going down.
it was not great. And then when I see my doctor a few days later and he tells me that he ordered the wrong test and that I didn't even need that test. I mean, it was just so good.
Nah,
And
I wish
so,
he had.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So now I'm gonna in a couple hours I'm gonna call him and I don't know, try and like listen to the sound of his voice and see if he's full of shit or not. Like, how do you know? How do you know if your
Yeah,
doctor's lying to you?
yeah,
Like,
you got to give that Larry David look, where you're like,
well, it's
hmm.
also just over the phone, so I can't even look
Okay,
at him in the eye. Like,
yeah.
even if it was like over Zoom or something that I could like kind of give him like the stink eye and maybe figure it out, but
I
I don't
doubt
know.
he's lying because they would just order it again. You know,
I guess that's true, but like e- I don't know. The woman at the front desk told me that I was going to have to get another one, so I just was like, well, if the woman at the front desk said it, then it must be true. And then she tells me to hold on, and she's like, actually, the doctor said it's fine. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know why I don't just trust him, but everything I Googled was like, no, you can't just rework one type of ultrasound and use it for another. Like that's just not
Well,
how it works. There's like certain types of tests for, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, it's just this, it's not like they did the wrong leg. Like they did ultrasound the right leg. So maybe they,
no,
I
it's
don't know.
possible, man. I
All
think it's
right.
possible. I will say this though: if they do have you come back, you got to one up it. You can't just show up in no underwear. You got to show up Porky Pig. You got to just show up in a real long T-shirt, no underwear, no pants.
I was gonna
And be
say
like, I'm back.
just underwear, no pants.
Yeah, come in like The Rock, like a wrestler, just little underwear, run in too, theme music.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, if I do have to go back, and there's a chance I may have to go back, I'm definitely going to wear underwear this time, and maybe I'll bring the ultrasound lady like a piece of
Yeah,
chocolate or something.
yeah, a Valentine's Day
Apologize.
chocolate.
Yeah, I got some of
All
those.
right. I'd say wear two pairs of underwear and be like, hey, this is for the last time. I wanted to make up. So now we're two visits and two pairs of underwear.
I just give her a pair of underwear. I'm like, you just hold on to these, just in case I ever
Somebody else ever
I
shows
come.
up.
You can give them to him. So anyway,
Yeah.
I am feeling okay today, which is nice. But um, yeah, I think my doctor's lying to me. I need to clearly always wear underwear, and I'm learning a lot of lessons these past couple of
Yeah.
weeks. And yeah, I think if anything else happens to me, leg or injury related, I'm probably just gonna, I don't know, try and get hit by a car and just call
Oh,
it. Just be done. I think
I
I'm
know you
done.
can't even. So my big thing is if you ever have something like that happen again,
Yeah.
you need to walk into to a Target,
Yeah.
walk into the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
and then just start screaming and say
Okay.
you slipped
Yeah.
in the bathroom on the water. There's no cameras in the bathroom.
Yep.
They'll send you to the hospital. They take care of your bills, and maybe you get a gift card out of it.
A gift card.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to retire. I need to be like in a government building and slip and fall. That's
This
what
is
I
probably, I don't know if I've shared this story on a podcast before.
yeah.
This is probably highly illegal, the thing I did once.
Okay.
I used to work at this store,
Yeah.
and I was snowboarding the night before,
Yeah.
and I came off of a jump, and I landed on a rock, and I hurt my butt. And
Yeah.
the next day I'm at work, and I was like, man, I just can't. This fucking sucks. Like it
Yeah.
sucks. I wanted to go home, so I tell my manager, I was like, hey, there's a little ladder. I just fell off this ladder. I fell on my butt. I don't know. I think I
Well,
just want to go home. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. I just want to go home. I
yeah.
hurt my butt. And she goes, no, we need to. You fell off a ladder. It's like we need to fill out a report.
Oh, of course.
They fill out this report, and they're
Yeah.
like, you need to go to the hospital. We need to take you to the hospital and make sure you're okay. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I was like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
We go to the hospital.
Oh
Turns
my
out I had a broken tailbone and it
What?
ruptured a pilonidal cyst, which is this like cyst in your butt thing. I had to have,
What?
yeah. Then next day, I ended up having like a fever because the cyst ruptured.
Yeah, it got infected.
I had like blood poisoning. I had to go to the hospital, had to have surgery, and
What?
the whole thing was paid by the company. They gave me like, I had like 6 weeks off, paid time off. And I didn't want to like go back, like, hey, no, I was kidding. This happened the night before. But the whole thing was good.
Dude. I mean, that's incredible and also terrifying because if you didn't like tell them, you probably wouldn't have gone to the hospital.
I mean, the reality is my mom is an emergency room nurse.
So she would
So
have made you go.
she was like, well, no, this is no good. We got to go.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. And I couldn't walk. And it was like, hey, actually, you might be right, though. I might not have went. Who knows?
Or you may have gone too late, or I mean,
Right.
any sort of infection like that. What kind of yeah, what is the surgery? What do they have
Well,
to do?
actually, I forgot. I went to the ER and my mom was working. And this one
Oh,
doctor was like, oh, no, he just bruised his tailbone. You can send him home. And my mom was like, no, something else is going on here. And she was like, and then I went home and then the fucking whatever.
they
Then I
looked
had like
at
a
yeah.
fever and she was like, you're going to the hospital. I know, whatever, we're going.
Yeah.
And we went and then they had to they had to like cut it open and drain it. Dude, this is disgusting. When I tell you this, 'cause it's a little disgusting. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
might be the
yeah.
most embarrassing 6 weeks of my life. I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
This was like the first week of school. No, first semester. I don't know because it was snowy time, so it could have been the first week of school.
Yeah.
maybe it was September. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It was anyway. Maybe a first. It was like a semester in school,
Yeah.
beginning of a semester or something, I think. And I'm in class, and I had to bring a donut pillow to sit on to
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
thing had to drain, so they
Oof.
kept putting like gauze on it, and the gauze would fill up with blood and like pus and disgustingness. And my mom was
Yeah.
like, "No, you're using these," and she gave me maxi pads that taped to like my butt,
Yeah.
and I would
Smart.
just
Smart.
go in,
Yeah.
yeah, I would just go into the bathroom like after class and like
Yeah.
change
Change
my
your pad.
pads. And this is before, you could be a different gender or a different sex or even gay.
Sure.
Gay wasn't even allowed back when I'm talking about. So anyone finding this,
Yeah.
I would have been made a fool
Yeah.
in
Sure.
school
Yeah. You're just walking out of the men's room with a box of maxi pads under your shoulder.
with a bloody pad being like, I got to dump this out. Heavy flow this month.
And smart though, because I mean, those obviously are that's what it's built for. And gauze, I
Perfect.
feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, gauze would just take, I feel like you'd be constantly changing that.
Yeah. And it was the smell of day. If you could Google it, man, this injury
Ah,
in
that's okay.
emergency rooms is pretty known as when this injury, they just notoriously stink. It's just
Oh,
like because it's above your butt. It's not like your butthole. It's like it's the cock. It's like above their butt crack. You still
yeah,
have a scar,
yeah.
and they got to go in, and it's oh god, it was fucking
That's yeah.
disgusting.
All because you fell off a ladder.
Oh, because they have bad ladders at that store that I'm not going to mention, just in case the
Were snowboarding
statutory
and
label.
fell off a ladder. So I don't know. I'll try and give everybody a full update on, whether or not my doctor lied to me or if I feel like he lied or if I don't know. But dude, fucking Christ, man. I mean, walking around with a goddamn cane, it's just like real nightmare. But
Yeah.
anyway, we got some stories here. Let's get into one or two of these before we call it here. I don't have a lot to say about this first one. It just
Okay.
I feel like we can't not talk about it. It's just such an insane story. So
Okay.
the the headline is Indiana jump rope champion saves drowning man with double dutch rope. I mean, it's
Oh.
maybe one of the coolest headlines ever.
Yeah, I thought it was like Indiana Jones, Indiana jump rope man. It's like, and he's got a whip too, just like Indiana Jones. It's pretty good. And so they were drowning. So did you read the whole story? I just read the article.
An 18-year-old kid, and he was walking, I guess, with his dog, and his dog falls in the frozen pond. The pond
Oh,
cracks, the dog falls in, and then this 18-year-old kid is like, I gotta save my dog. So now the kid tries to save the dog, and then the kid falls in the pond.
oh,
You got to assume this is like 90% of the time this happens, just everyone dies, right? Like,
right.
there's not a lot of people around. The odds of like somebody seeing you like pop in and out of the water are like slim to none, I guess.
Yeah,
Just with like the ice and the water's so cold, I would assume you just drowned immediately.
right.
But for whatever reason, there was a man near the pond. I guess his house was near the pond, and he's some kind of superhero because he hears the struggle of maybe the dog was barking, maybe it was good the dog, I don't know, but he hears these people struggling in this frozen pond, and he also happens to be a jump rope champion, so he has like this giant jump rope that he grabs and just throws it to the boy, saves the kid and the dog,
Wow.
saves them both.
You love to hear it.
I mean, it's like a Hallmark movie. It's
Yeah,
like the fact that he saves these two people is obviously very sweet. But the
right.
fact that he's also a jump rope, I didn't even know that jump rope champions were a thing.
Maybe himself. The only thing cooler is if he was like a lasso champion. If he was like, actually, and he's like, he fucking lassos him and pulls him in with his horse. That would be
I
cool too.
That would be cool, but I kind of imagine that's what he did. I mean,
Right,
maybe he didn't like tie a loop and like,
right,
hook him, but
right.
he did like have to get as close as he could, I guess, to the pond and like throw his jump rope as like,
Yeah.
close as he could. And the fact that he saved the dog, how did he save the dog? Did the dog
Maybe the other
just
guy was holding the dog as
okay.
he pulled out. I like this is what I like to think happened.
Yeah.
He walked down the pond with his jump rope and then jump roped so fast that it blew the water away, revealing all, move everything away. And then the kid and the dog both walk out. That he
Yeah.
was like, he had the jump rope, like he's a jump rope champ, but it's like, I had to jump like I've never jumped before in my life. Like it was the ultimate jump rope challenge for him somehow. That's what I like to believe.
I love that when they interviewed him, he just goes, I instinctively grabbed my double
Instinctively.
Dutch ropes and rushed to the scene. Like I mean, it's just like he's the it's the it's the nerdiest,
Yeah.
but also the coolest superhero ever.
Because he's instinctively grabbing his jump rope, but 9 out of 10 times he's not going to need his jump rope for whatever that is,
I
right?
I guarantee you this guy didn't become a double Dutch champion and think, you know what? I bet you I'm gonna save a man's life with this rope one day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was like, I mean, look, actually, I'm going to retract what I said.
Yeah,
The jump rope is one of those versatile of, I mean, you could whip people,
yeah,
you could tie people up,
yeah,
you could save someone with grabbing them, you could
yeah.
lasso somebody. A rope is pretty strong of a weapon. I mean, so I guess he's not. I don't want to shit on this guy. I think he was like, you know what? You never know when you're going to need a good rope.
I'm not trying to shit on him either. I think it's hilarious. I mean, it's awesome. The guy
Yeah,
saved an 18-year-old kid and a dog from drowning in a frozen pond, and it's literally only because he also happens to be a double Dutch champion. Now, but I just can't imagine a world where I mean, let's say the same situation happened, and we really need to be thanking whoever inspired this man to become a double Dutch champion.
right.
Because if he lived in this home and wasn't a champion jump roper, what would he have done? He probably would have ran out there to try and save him, and then would have just ended up drowning with them because he
Right,
wouldn't have had any sort of tools like his double Dutch rope to save them with.
right. You know what would be great is if he threw the double Dutch rope to the person, right? The police come, they thank him, forcing them to inspect the rope. We find out it's not regulation, and they take his championship away. And they go, "Sorry, pal." It's like, "God damn it!" It's like
They go
after 30
technically.
years of cheating with a light rope, he's found out because he wanted to save someone's life. It's a movie.
One
That's
of
the
the
movie
one
we
of the
write.
police officers was another contestant in the jump rope
Yeah, she's a
championship.
12-year-old girl. The cop is like a little girl in pigtails.
Technically, a true double Dutch rope wouldn't make it that far into the
Yeah,
pond.
yeah. Yeah. I also think
Oh,
everyone he's competing against is 11 years old. And he's just a 40-year-old guy just destroying children in double dutch.
I didn't even think about that. This 18-year-old kid may have been we maybe we need to dig a little deeper here. Was this 18-year-old kid also a contestant and maybe he tried to kill the kid and then changed his mind?
Yeah. Man.
It's so funny though. I didn't even really think about the idea of him being a jump rope champion is just so funny to me, but it's like, yeah, I mean, this guy's like 40 years old. Who is he competing against? Are there other 40-year-old men also competing in double Dutch
Right.
championships?
It could be like, I don't know,
Oh,
man, like the town is like five dudes play out, is there a real trophy? We should have looked deeper. I should have looked deeper into like the credentials of this double Dutch championship.
I'm
We
gonna,
need a guy
yeah,
who could Google for us,
we need a Googler. You know what? I'm going to dig deeper, and next episode, I'm gonna have more info
We
on
should uncover the details and destroy this guy's life. Just be, like no one's looking closely at the double Dutch champion, and we're gonna find his flaws.
I do also love the idea of him now just like always carrying his double Dutch rope with him. Like he's
Yeah,
like got it on his waist, like just in case
right,
something else happens. Like he's in a restaurant and like somebody pulls out a gun and he's just like you said, he's fucking Indiana Jones and he's just fighting crime now with his double Dutch rope.
right.
But
What
the
if there's
second,
just a
yeah,
bunch of a bunch of murders across the country. He's been hung with jump ropes,
And there's
and no
just
one
rope
ever,
burns.
no one ever knew why, and now we know.
There's just, yeah, all of them have rope burns around their neck.
Yeah. Or he's like the Hulk and he's just been saving people across the world and the news brings upon him and he's got to now move to another town.
I
He's like,
mean,
oh, he's saving people's lives with his double dutch rope.
dude, this does have all of the the signs of a fucking Lifetime Hallmark movie. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to write this movie. It could be, it was a frozen lake, so it could be Christmas time. This guy, double Dutch champion. I mean, well, we maybe we need to write this movie. The
I
guy,
know how it ends.
how does it end? Yeah.
He's walking one day,
Okay.
his calf pops,
Yeah.
and he's like, I can never jump again. I can never jump. And he goes, live by the rope, die by the rope. Cut to, he's in his closet hanging from the rope. The one he saved, take a life, give a life. The one he saved the guy with, he kills himself with.
Uh, that is an incredibly dark movie that involves jump rope, but I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it. Yeah, I don't know. I saw the headline and I was like, this is literally made for this podcast. I'm so glad. I'm so glad the kid's okay. I'm even happier the dog's okay. And
You should reach out to this guy, see if we can get him on the podcast and we just grill him. The guy does a really nice thing. We're just incredibly like,
yeah,
yeah, what's really going on with you, pal?
yeah. So, what were your intentions with this idea of jump roping? It's
Yeah.
mostly children, I would assume, sir. Who are you spending your time with? He's just like a 40-year-old guy who lives alone near a pond. Not sketchy at all. No, I don't want to shit on this guy. Um, I would love to have him on the podcast. Honestly, I would love it. I'm gonna dig deeper into this story.
Yeah, we should get the whole story.
I would love to talk to the kid who got saved because I want to know how he got. I mean, like you said, maybe he just like held on to the dog, but like, how is he holding on to the dog and the jump rope? And then I don't know, man. It's the ice is cracking all around them. It seems like a daring rescue,
Sure.
and it all it has is like the plastic handle at the end that like just
No,
no.
he's a champion. It's
Okay.
wood.
These are legit jump ropes.
Yeah, that
You're
little
probably
plastic
right.
handling for the fucking champion of Indiana, the Indiana jump rope champion.
You're not wrong. I can't wait to dig deeper. All right, so that might be my favorite story of the year so far. I don't think it gets really any better than that. The next one here also pretty exciting. This will be quick because I really want to get into the next one. But I don't know if you saw, but it's been making the rounds that NASA recently discovered an asteroid
Oh yeah.
that at the time it was a 1 in 43 chance of hitting Earth in 2032. It's Everyone keeps saying it's not a world ender, but it could legitimately wipe out an entire city if it crashed into, New York or LA, it would literally wipe out the entire city. Now it was like 1 in 43 and it was like a 1% chance, then it went up to like a 3% chance. And then I saw an update from somebody online yesterday where they said now they think it might hit the moon, which I thought was
What?
interesting. Yeah, they're
I
saying
didn't know
there's
that.
there's even more of a possibility that it could hit the moon. Well, because I didn't know this, but the moon is like one of the main reasons why we don't get hit by asteroids all the
I
time.
didn't know that because it is gravity or
The
just
the
luck.
gravitational pull of the moon, I believe, is what sort of like protects us. I think it's the moon and maybe one other planet that is further out.
The moon is a hero.
The moon is a legend, and if it takes a hit for us, how cool would it be to I would I'd feel bad for the moon, but it would be kind of cool if like NASA could like set up a live stream or something, and we could watch an asteroid hit the moon. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
What you just see it like break apart with your own eyes? I mean, that would be crazy. I'm
A
sure it's not that
chunk of the
big, but
moon just comes towards Earth and just kills all of us.
yeah.
Well,
Fucking
so
moon.
I wanted to get your opinion on how do you feel? How do you feel about asteroids in general? You ever, I mean, I feel like NASA likes to remind us every once in a while that this is a complete possibility. You know, it's like, did you see the video of when they sent a satellite into space and we're like, we picked an asteroid, we're gonna shoot this satellite into space, and we're gonna fucking just blow up this one asteroid. And they fucking did it. They put a camera on
Wow.
it and you like watched it happen in real time. It was crazy.
I didn't see
So
that, but that's very cool.
I mean, it was basically them. It was part of the planetary defense team where they were just like, if we ever needed to change the course of an asteroid, we need to start doing this and
Right.
like practicing. And first try, dude, they fucking nailed it. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
It was incredible. So that does make me feel safe in the sense of like NASA does seem to be on top of it. Now, there was a story that came out a couple of maybe like a year ago that apparently there's a whole side of space that we can't see because of the sun. The sun just the reflection of the sun completely blocks our telescopes from being able to look at it
Oh, I know
even a
that.
1%. So there is a chunk of space that like we'll just never be able to look at because the sun overpowers the reflection of the sun just blocks out any telescopes. So there is like a chance that an asteroid could come from that direction and we would just never know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we do have an idea. Now, my first question to you would be, do you want them to tell you stuff like this? Do you want to know that, oh, there's a, it's 2032. We could, me and you could both be dead by 2032. So maybe it doesn't even matter. But do you want,
2032? That's in
I,
like 5 years, man. 7 years. We
seven
get dead
years?
in 7 years?
I just mean like, you almost died in a flood in Vermont the other day. Like it could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a blizzard. It wasn't a flood.
I saw
This thing
flooding.
flooded. I didn't know why you said that, but
Oh,
I was
there
like,
was
I think I
like
saw a flood.
there was crazy flooding in Vermont.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's what I thought you were talking about. But blizzard, even scarier. But anyway, do you like these stories? Do you want to know that there's like all these potential asteroids coming towards us? Like, what do you want NASA to be telling you?
Well, I was actually writing a story about this. I was like, I have an idea for a movie I wanted to write, which was about
Yeah,
an asteroid that's coming literally in 7 years, which is crazy.
yeah,
And that because I thought 7 years was the perfect amount of time for it to not be like if they were like 7 years, this asteroid's coming, it's game over. There's nothing we could do.
yeah,
It's going to destroy the world. I would be like, it's enough time where you like immediately freak out, but then you have 6 years to kind of get comfortable and how would people react,
yeah.
like does murder still matter? Does I think it does. Would you go about doing your job? I mean, what like I'm sure there's like groups of people who are like we're going to kill ourselves before this happens.
Yeah.
I do think I would want to know, and I think it'd be like a really cool experience for us to be like, hey, this shit don't matter anymore. We
Yeah.
all have a timeline. It's 7 years. Let's do what we do. I mean, I'm sure then, of course, then like society crumbles, but maybe it wouldn't. I think that there's a chance society actually wouldn't crumble. I think it would just be very different and weird and kind of cool. I think at some point we're gonna know, right, that it's game over.
If it does happen, I think it happens so quick that we don't even get a chance. I feel like
Yeah,
that's like how it would really happen, right? Like NASA is constantly monitoring like as many asteroids as they can in outer space, which is great. But like I said, there is a portion of space that like they can't monitor. So it's like there could be an asteroid coming towards us right now that's going to hit us in
right.
10 minutes. We would never know, and that's the end of it. But
Right. Well, that's the thing that I always thought about with 9/11, which is kind of fucking dark, but I was like, man, there were a ton of people in 9/11 that didn't know they were in 9/11.
it
They
just
just went
yeah,
to
it
the
just
bathroom at the
happened. Yeah.
office, and then the plane hit them, and they were like they weren't even people who were like stuck in there and couldn't get out. It was just people who were like they went to the bathroom. It was like a end of Sopranos, like blacked
Yeah.
out, done.
Yeah, just immediate darkness forever. Yeah, totally. I think that there's value in that, but I'm with you. I think 7 years is perfect. And even like I said, if this asteroid did hit us, I feel like there's a good chance it would probably just hit the ocean, right? Like the ocean takes up most of our planet. So there's a good chance it's just going to hit the ocean anyway.
And then
And if
every
it
coast is gone.
no, I guess I think it depends where it hits in the
Okay.
ocean.
Yeah.
And like I don't think it would be like it would from what these scientists are saying, it wouldn't cause like a world-ending tsunami or anything like
Right.
that. But it could wipe out, a lot of people. And I would love to know how much or how accurate they like. Can they tell us where it's going to hit? Like, are they able to figure it out to the point where they're like, okay, it's coming towards us, it's going to hit us, it's coming in at this angle from this part of space. So like, odds are it's going to hit Ireland or it's going to hit
Right.
Australia or whatever. You know,
I think they already know. I thought the article I read said that was like, oh, if it hits, this is where it would probably hit. And I think it was like an Asian country.
I would
Yeah.
want to know an asteroid's going to hit the Earth, and then I don't know. Yeah, I would probably if they said for certainty they're like in 7 years it's happening, and it could kill 100,000 people or whatever. I think it would be hard for me to just be like, all right, well I'm quitting my job now, and I'm just going to
Right.
go, I don't know, sleep on the beach every day.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's what I would want to do, but I think it would be hard to do that. It wouldn't
Yeah. I
feel
mean,
real until like there was some sort of scientist on the news like crying or something.
I think you quit your job on the seventh year. I don't know. You quit your job 6 years early, and then you just broke after 2 years, and then you've lived a miserable 5 years because you
I
can't afford.
guess, but like you were saying, like if society as a collective was like, all right, money's not real anymore. We're about to get hit by an asteroid. Everything's just free for everybody. Like let's just enjoy the time we have left. That's what I would want.
Yeah,
I
and
would
people would have
also
to like, but
do a lot of drugs.
people would have to like, like, still go to their job, right? Like people would still have to work crops and shit,
Yeah.
and it's like those people are now. I would like. I'd like to think that those people that become heroes, or we're like, hey, you're doing this, so we're gonna really pay you, but it wouldn't. They would just be more slaves that we always use.
You know what? It's probably better if an asteroid just if nobody knew it was coming and it just hit us and then I don't know, the sun gets blocked out and it's just like a cold winter for 100 years and we all die.
It's like a real nightmare. The cold winter for 100 years.
I think
Yeah,
that's what would happen.
yeah, you're
I
right.
think if an asteroid hit a world ender asteroid hit us, I think it blocks out the sun for like 100 years. Like
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean that's
the
what happened
dust up.
to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, look at that guy right there. He knows what I'm talking about. That guy knows
Isn't that
exactly
nuts?
what I'm talking about.
There were just dinosaurs here,
I think
no
about it all the time.
humans.
It
And
blows my mind. I this is like a hacky whatever thing, but it's like I understand why Jurassic Park should like could like should be a thing. Like I would
right,
love that. I
yeah.
understand it's like okay, yeah, the dinosaurs get loose, they murder everybody. But like I get why I would love that. I think we should try and bring back all of the dinosaurs.
First of all, they're not. I think Jurassic Park is such a. But Jurassic Park sucks for 20 people who are on the island.
Yeah.
But like the minute a dinosaur like gets close to the mainland, we have F-15s and
We'll knock it out.
warthogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna take care of this thing immediately. That
Yeah.
thing gets to Texas. I know some guy's got a bazooka. He's gonna shoot at a. He's definitely gonna shoot at the like the not meat eater, like the
Yeah.
this guy.
That's what I
What's
was
this
gonna
guy's name?
say. Yeah.
Shoot him in the head with a bazooka.
Well, those
The brontosaurus.
yeah, all of the vegetarian dinosaurs, I they could just hang out. How
They could
cool would
just
it
hang
be?
out.
I mean, I'm in Arizona and I have friends sometimes come visit from the East Coast or whatever, and it kind of blows their mind just like when we're driving, on the freeway or whatever, and there's just like a giant mountain just like
Yeah,
next to us on the
it's weird.
freeway. Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, that's weird." And it's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just used to it." But I mean, how cool would it be if, you're just like driving from, Arizona to Vegas and you're just like in that patch of, emptiness and there's just like dinosaurs roaming around. I think that would
Well,
be
here's the thing. You're taking a lot out of. You're not thinking about a lot. One is okay. They're not going to eat you, but they're going to step on your car. They're gonna break your house.
What if, but eventually they'll figure it out. Eventually they'll step on enough cars and be like, ah, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore.
You think dinosaurs are gonna figure out not to step on cars?
Yeah, I
They
think
don't
they'll
have a
figure.
big. They don't have the internet. They're not emailing each other.
I mean, my dog walks into a wall every once in a while. He starts figuring out, hey, maybe I should not walk into walls. You
Yeah, but
know,
that's not the wall. That's your dog stepping on your comic books or the things in your house or peeing on your floor. Like he doesn't care. Like this dinosaur doesn't care. They're huge.
I think dinosaurs are probably pretty smart that eventually they'll be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't ruin everybody's vehicle.
Yeah, sure. Like thing maybe. Also, just walking through downtown Arizona, just
I,
knocking out pizza places. You can't get to work now. You're late for work.
I'll be Fred Flintstone. I'll fucking ride that thing.
Yeah,
I do think, okay, sure, yeah. Look, if we're gonna really get into it, maybe there needs to be some fences, and then
there needs to be some fences.
now we're just back to Jurassic Park. But either way, I hope this asteroid doesn't hit us. But there's a little part of me that kind of wants to see what would happen if it did.
And real quick though, you know they're bringing back the woolly mammoth, right?
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen. I feel like I keep seeing that, but like when is it? When's it happening? They keep saying they're doing it.
I think it's like a like I think it's like I think they're doing it on um Martin Luther King Day next year. That was a way to celebrate him. They're going to present the world of woolly mammoth, a bunch of woolly mammoths.
He's just going to be walking. It's just going to be walking down Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Oh. In honor of
I
Dr. King, woolly mammoths.
I would yeah, I'm all for that stuff. I think we should bring back all of these animals.
It'd also be funny if they can't do it, so they just put a big old toupee on an elephant, and they're like, "Look, he's back." And you're like, "Come on, man, that's not one.
they're just
That's
like
one.
they're
That's
just
not
like
one."
gluing fur onto an elephant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like look at this guy. No, I think that there's yeah, I don't know. I want Jurassic Park. I want the woolly mammoth. I want all that stuff. I think, we live in the future, man. Why not do it?
oh, yeah, that's what it is. Life. That's exactly what the guy said at the beginning of the Doctor. Why not do it? Yeah, no, because look,
Yeah.
life finds a way.
Life finds a way. It would be really funny if we did bring back the woolly mammoth and then like started bringing back like other dinosaurs and then that asteroid just came and killed all of them again.
The asteroid was like, "I told you, I want these guys dead," and it just kills them again.
Yeah, that would be
That's funny.
fucking perfect. Did you see the that Delta flight in Canada that flipped over?
Yeah,
Okay.
another thing like Idiocracy. I don't know if you remember Idiocracy, but in
I
that
do
movie,
remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Yeah.
this is a small thing in the movie. In the
Yeah.
background, planes are just falling out of the sky.
It's wow. That movie
They're hitting all of
predicted
the things from
everything. Yeah.
Idiocracy.
Dude, that plane crash in Philly, terrifying. Did you see that video? It's like a missile just like coming out of the sky,
Ugh.
crashed into like a giant building. There was a story about like this like 12-year-old boy who like jumped on his sister and like a piece of metal just hit him in the head. It's crazy, crazy shit. But anyway, the little boy's fine. There's a Delta flight in Canada. The video is wild. I don't know if you saw the video
Yeah.
of it landing and then basically just like tipping on its side. The wing just like shatters, lights on fire, and then the plane just flips. It's terrifying. I'm already so scared of flying. I hate flying. That
Yeah, me
watching
too.
something like that is like cool. Now I'm definitely never getting on a plane.
Right.
At least this year, there will be no flying for me. I'll fucking take a train across the country if I have to. But what I wanted to bring up is Delta is currently offering all of the passengers on that flight. Nobody died. There was like a good handful of a couple of handful of injuries. Apparently, there was one guy. There's always one guy who took a seatbelt off too early, and he fucking fell and hit the roof when the plane flipped. But for the most part, everybody had their seatbelts on. Everybody was safe somehow, and everyone got out of the plane okay. Delta is offering them $30,000 a piece as just
Yeah.
like our bad. Sorry, guys. Here's 30K. I don't know. I would love to
And they
know
can
if
still
there's
sue.
tax, and they could still sue. I saw a couple of people online who were like, "Don't even take the 30 grand. just sue them because you're going to get way more. But my question to you is 30 grand enough? You saw the video. Would you take 30 grand?
I mean, they're just giving it to you, so it's take it or don't take it because you could still sue.
I don't know though. I bet you they make you sign something if they
Now,
give you if they,
everybody I was talking to yesterday who are
yeah.
just comedians
Yeah.
was saying they are still allowed to sue. 30 grand is not enough. I need to also fly for life for free,
Yeah.
which God knows if I'll still fly after
I
that.
was going to say how many people on that flight never want to get on a I would never get on a plane again.
I don't know, man. I think that that would make me fly more because I'm like, I got
It
my one.
can't happen
There's no way
twice.
I'm
Yeah.
getting two,
Yeah. That's
you know?
true. Yeah, the odds of that happening to you again go, yeah, go down tremendously.
Or I'm selling those free tickets to other people. I don't know if you can, but I'll figure out a
You
way.
get
Like,
free tickets for life and then you just start selling them on fucking offer up.
yeah, absolutely.
Y-
Um,
Yeah, I would assume if they're writing you a check for 30 grand, there's going to be some paperwork involved where you sign for the check and it also says you can't sue us. I would
right.
assume they got to
I
do
think you just crossed that out. Are you allowed to do that? You allowed to just cross that out? Go,
you go,
yeah,
I'm not going to initial next to that one actually. So I will
yeah,
take the 30 grand. See, I mean, look, somebody's offering you 30 grand, you're going to take 30 grand. But yeah, if I knew I could sue for like, I don't know, 300 grand, I'm definitely not taking the 30. But I also feel like they may be able to escape a few lawsuits if they wouldn't be so fucking cheap up front. Like
right.
if like you're offering 30 grand, I would assume most people are not going to take that. But if you offer them 150 grand and they have to sign some paper, I mean, what's your number? What's your number
How
for
much
that
money?
flight?
How many people were there? How many people were there?
It's a full flight.
100?
Yeah, something like that. A little over
Do they
100,
have
I
a
think.
$100 million?
Does
Does
Delta
Delta
have 100 million? Yeah, for sure. They're like
right?
a
Why give
billion
everybody $1 million?
company. Give everyone 100 million?
No, everyone gets a million.
Everyone gets a million.
I want a million. My number is always a million.
It's
Always.
See, I go five. I want
Million?
five. I want 5 million. Yeah, I love
Greedy.
1 million's cool, but like, is it a tax free million? Are they covering taxes? Because if it's not tax free, you're not getting a million. You're getting like what 700,000 maybe if you're lucky.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, of course, 5 million is, you're like, well, a million's cool. Well, I'll say, but yeah, for sure. 5 million is cool. 5
Yeah,
million is cool. I want
I
100 million.
okay, yes, but you got to be somewhat realistic here. I
No,
think
sure.
I think 5 million is much more realistic. I mean, dude, the plane flipped over and lit on fire. 30 grand? That's like how much a
That's
teacher
not enough.
makes in a year. That's
Right.
crazy.
Also,
30
like,
grand?
you're giving me money to make up for the fact that I'm never flying again.
And you're traumatized for fucking life.
Right.
Like not only are you yes, now taking trains and I don't know, fucking just now you're just a road trip guy because
Right.
you're just forced to be a
Like,
road trip guy.
you give me $30,000. I'm never gonna see my Aunt Debbie again because I've never gone on a plane to see her.
And she's also so terrified from the footage that she can't fly to me. And
Nope.
Debbie is also traumatized just from the video on the news.
So
So
you're gonna give me
now,
30
yeah,
grand plus a yearly Zoom subscription so I could talk to my aunt on Zoom.
Aunt Debbie's getting 15K just for the trauma, the secondhand trauma. And
Yeah.
also 30 grand, again, are they taking taxes out of that? 30 grand after taxes is fucking nothing. That's crazy. That's like probably
Is
you're
30
probably getting
grand an insult? Is it an insult to
Of
even?
course it's an insult.
Okay,
If
I'm
they're
asking.
trying to take advantage of all the idiots who are like 30 grand, holy shit. And they just start
Right.
signing everything and they basically sign, their life away and their inability to sue. I mean 30 grand is crazy. And there's no way they're covering taxes. So again,
Let me ask you this:
you're getting maybe 21
Are the air stewardesses, what are they called? The air attendants,
flight
are they also
attendants.
getting 30 grand?
You know what? I bet you they probably are going back to work next week is what they're
Yeah, I
doing.
bet they don't even get the money.
That's interesting. I don't know. It didn't say. Let's see here. $30,000 offered. Okay, so it says $30,000 offered to passengers, no strings attached. What does that even mean? What does no strings attached mean?
One string attached. You gotta blow me. It's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you $30,000, but you gotta
Yeah.
blow me.
So you get 30 grand and you get a DVD copy of Ashton Kutcher's No Strings Attached. Um,
And by the way, the 30 grand, there's many strings attached. The DVD is all you're getting. There's no strings attached.
okay, so there was 80 people on board. 21 were hospitalized and 20 were released. So there's one person still in the hospital.
Yeah, but he's a
Um,
bitch.
yeah, that was probably the guy who took his seatbelt off too early. Fucking
Yeah.
idiot. Didn't listen to the seatbelt sign. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the flight attendants, but you would assume, right? It's like when you fall off a ladder while you're snowboarding, they probably get some sort of workman's comp, or like there's got to be
They're not
something
getting the 30
involved.
grand. I guarantee they didn't get the $30,000 offer.
They probably sign something when you become a flight attendant that like that makes it unavailable for you to get any sort of, you know, payment from a crash or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that happened to me, I would be scarred for life. And I also would be requesting a minimum of $5 million and a copy of No Strings Attached.
Yeah. 30 grand goes so fast.
Yeah, dude, that's
That
nothing.
money is gone before I'm home.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's so crazy. Delta really kind of fucked up there. I mean, to offer to just lowball all of those people and whatever. I mean, I guess they're still investigating, so we don't even know what really happened. The only thing I saw was that there was maybe an issue with landing gear,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it could have been pilot error with landing gear, but I
Well,
don't
I
know,
got to tell
man.
you, if you want to sound like you know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
go in those comments and just say, there was no flare. Say, there was no flare. I don't know what that means, but so many people have
yeah,
been saying they didn't see a flare. There's no flare before the landing. I
yeah.
don't have any other answer for you, but it will make you sound like you know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, you know what I heard is that there was no flare.
There's no flare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so glad everybody was okay. The video is terrifying. It literally looks like end of the world type shit. There was another video of a guy just filming the plane while it was flipped, like already flipped over, and he was out of the plane, just like watching other people jump out of it. I mean, it looked like
Yeah,
some
instead
end
of
of the
helping.
world type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nuts. Next
Um.
year, I'm supposed to go to Thailand, and it's
Oh, yeah.
my wife thinks I'm going. She's like, we're all going, and I'm like, yeah, you're going. She's like, yeah, we're all going. The family. I go, man, the whole family. You're all going.
How
So
long
fun.
is how long is that flight?
77 hours. No, I think it's like 24 or 12 hours. It's like crazy. It's a lot of
It's
hours.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me ask Tita, how long's a flight to Thailand? 18 hours.
Yeah, brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would
No,
need this. I would have to do heroin before I would have to be unconscious at a level of heroin to do that.
that's the thing that makes me crazy too, because I really hate flying. So like, I
Yeah.
really hate flying. Um, the problem is that my kids are also going to be on the flight. So I don't think I can drug myself in a way where
Oh,
I'm just like, I think I have to like
yeah.
watch them or I have to
Yeah.
be a man, you know?
You either have to drug everyone or no one.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to drug anybody because I'll be home.
That's
They
true.
will
You're not
be,
you're not going.
they will go to a place like just a place that I will never see in my life,
Yeah.
their own culture, their own heritage, and they will be
Yeah.
going with their mother and their grandparents.
Perfect. You could just jump on FaceTime and
Yeah.
just have mom hold you up next to her.
Yeah. 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 Oh, well.
That is a another episode of The Final Word. Thank you to everybody for continuing to listen. Please, spread the word, tell a friend, all that stuff. And Greg, buddy, I appreciate you doing this, man.
Another great episode. I have to poop so bad, it's crazy.
I
You had no idea this episode. I've just the minute you signed on, I went, I have to go to the bathroom so bad, but I didn't want to hold you up anymore.
you could have
This
you
was a
could have
marathon.
went to
No,
the bathroom.
I beat it. I won. This is exciting. We did it. We did it on so many levels. You got through your leg injury. I got through my poop, holding in my poop.
We're both champions.
We
Yeah,
are.
we're both jump rope champions. All right, goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Goodbye.